Hi, this is Angie with my Cricut Closet. I wanted to do a tutorial today with the Imagine. So you see I have my machine already turned on, and over here on the right hand side I have my Imagine cartridge, Mr. Frosty, and on the left hand side I have my Cricut cartridge, Winter Woodland. Okay, just to go over a few things, this is your on button, this is your stop button, this is your play, which you can use it to insert your mat. This is your menu button, which will take you back to this home screen. And these two buttons will go over during the video. So, your main menu, you've got your print and cut, print paper, settings, and about. Let's start with the about. We'll end up the other way. This has your end user license agreement and your warranty, so you can go in and check those out if you want to. It'll also tell you what version you're working with. Okay, X out of that. Here's your settings. Okay, so you've got your print and cut, your quality, and your mat. So here you can change if you want to print and cut, or if you want to print only or cut only, you can change here. You can do best quality or dry quality for your printing. And here you can change, like if you've got glossy paper, matte paper, or printable vinyl. Okay, and this tells you how your ink cartridges are doing. And here you've got to clean your print heads. Your border preference. I've had a lot of people ask questions about the borders that they come up with on their images. Here you can go, it has default, thickness, and custom. And when you go to custom, it'll allow you to define your color and also your size. And I like to not have a border, so you can change that to 0. I believe the default is 0.4, and you can also define the color if you do want to have a border. And here you also have your calibration settings. Mine's already calibrated, so I don't want to mess with that. But if you ever find you're not printing, this area helps the machine know where to cut and print, because when it feeds it back through, it needs to know exactly where it's going. So if you're having any problems with it printing and then not cutting on the right lines, you might want to recalibrate. And then here's your default settings. So I'm just going to hit cancel. Now, one of the great things with the Imagine is that you can print paper. And here it says click here to select the color or pattern. And I've got my Mr. Frosty in. And so you can go through and pick any of these colors and print a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Now, I've worked on a project earlier today and I used this right here. And I printed off a 12 by 12 sheet of that. And when you print it off, you can't tell that it's not, it goes from edge to edge, so you can't really tell that it's not store-bought. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but here's the sheet that I made. It's 12 by 12. I'm trying to get it in the mat, but you know, it looks like you bought it in the store and actually just printed it off. And you can do the same thing with your solid colors, although I'm not sure if you'd want to or not, but I guess if you needed a 12 by 12 sheet of a solid color, then you could use that. But you can pick any of these and click on next, and it'll ask you for overspray if you want it off, medium, or high. I typically go to medium just to make sure that it gets edge to edge. And again, you can go to your settings on this page and go through all that, but we won't go through there again. We already did that. And I don't actually want to print this, so we're just going to hit the menu button and go back to our menu. So that's how you print your paper. And this button is the print and cut. And here's where you're actually going to be doing your designing. Right here in this corner, you have these 3 little icons. And right now, it's set to this, which is the Cricut Imagine, and it doesn't have any images showing up right now because Mr. Frosty is in, and Mr. Frosty is a pattern and color cartridge, and it doesn't have any images. This middle one is the stock photos that comes preloaded on the machine. It has some nice shapes and things on here, so you might want to check those out. And I know the top note is pretty popular shape right now, so it does have a top note in there. And then you also have your cartridge that's over on the left hand side. And right now I have winter woodland in, so it shows you that. So let's just add an image just to show you what's going on here. When you click on this, it'll give you a little bit of a highlighted or zoomed in view of it. So I've got 2 of them on my screen right now. I can do a couple different things here. I've got a backspace, a clear all, and an undo and redo button. I don't want that second one, so I can just hit backspace. But if I had accidentally done that, I could also hit undo and add that back, or redo to take it back away. Clear all is going to, just like it says, it's going to clear everything away. So let's hit our layers and add our layers to this. Okay, and let's hit next. And as you can see, my little berries are the right proportionate size to layer on top of my leaves over here. And so I can click on that, and when you click on that, it gives you 3 little options here. These little boxes here will copy and paste this image, so you can, just a duplicate. This will delete it, and this will allow you to go in and edit it. Right now my real dial size is on, or I mean, not my real dial size, but relative size is on. And if you want to do true size, you click over here, but I want to do the relative size. So here we've got our images, our patterns and colors. I want to go with this green. And we could always revert back to our regular color or do the undo, just like we did on the other one. We can flip it, or we can flip it horizontally as well. Okay, so when you're done with that, you just hit apply, and then we have that. If you want to click on this, our little berries, I'm going to make those red. Okay. Alright. So here we have that. Now, once you got your images over here, we also have some things up here. It says setup job. We have project quantity. If you want to do more than one, you can set that up. Or art quantity. So you can have 3. Or you can, let's delete these. Oops. Deleted all of them. I didn't want to do that. So let's go back. There we go. Alright. So next time we'll just go back down to 1. We can fit to page. So it'll make them as big as they possibly can for this page. Or, turn that back off, we can do autofill. And it's going to fill in as many as we possibly can on that 12 by 12 page. Turn that back off. Apply all. This will, you can change the color pattern to everything that's on the screen, or you can also change the size. So if I decided that I really want this to be 3 inches tall instead of 2.5, I can hit 3 and apply, and it's going to make both of them 3 inches. And since I have my relative dial size on, it's going to make it proportionate to the leaves. Here we can do our page setting. So if you only have like maybe a 6 by 6 sheet of paper, you can always go over here and change your width to 6 and your height to 6. And as you can see, it pulls in you got a little white highlighted part that shows you exactly what's going to be, or exactly where your paper is. And again, you can go back here and hit your fit to page, and it's going to only fit that one 6 by 6. Or if you do the autofill, which it'll tell you you can't fit anymore on that page. Here's your cut settings. If you've got an expression, you should be used to these kind of. It's got a multi-cut, speed, and pressure. And I have a little bit thick paper, so I'm going to put that at 5, or no, let's go 4 for my speed, and then 5 for my pressure. And again, you can flip if you wanted to. And then you would hit next. And we're not going to do this, but I just wanted to show you that it'll tell you, this is the screen where you can print and cut. It'll ask you to load your paper, so you can either click on this or use your play button over here. So I'm going to close this out and go back. And let's change my paper size back to 12. Another cool thing is that once you've cut this out, and this is, you've got a lot of page left, you can click on this load last. And the machine's going to remember what your last cut was. So if you had cut this out and then decided you want to add another image, when you put the paper back in and you hit that load last, it's going to start your next cut in this area right here so that you can save on paper, that's a pretty nice feature. So I think that's about it. I hope you guys learned something watching this video, and I hope it wasn't too dry for you. Thanks for watching.